Hello everyone, this is Greg, and we are going to get back into my Shadowdark campaign. And so I have put up a couple of different videos on my channel, and so I have been looking at a couple other games. Because like I said, my channel is going to be about multiple games. That way it keeps it fresh for me and all that stuff. But it also makes me wonder about, what people want to see. Do they want to continue to see my Shadowdark game? Do they like to see, other different games? But we shall see how it goes. By the way, I did put up a video a while back with Beyond the Wall, and I got my Beyond the Wall book this week. So I'm telling you, I have been reading it and some of the other stuff, and it's fast becoming one of my favorite OSR clones. But more about in the future. Tonight it is Shadowdark, Solo Dark. So I still haven't made up my mind if I'm going to add Mythic. I think I'm just going to keep playing and just be a little more focused on Ironbridge and some of the story plots, that I've already had going. And so I'm going to stick with that a little bit, and then just kind of let it just keep going. Really, the whole part of it is just I just enjoy playing, and so I just want to make sure that I have whoa, there goes my camera rising up. Let me check that. Let me check it. Yeah, well, I guess that's fine. So bring it down just a little bit. Sorry, folks, but this camera arm is being a little funky tonight. All right. So anyway, so session 11 of the Ironbridge Rangers. My Ironbridge Rangers. You're just gonna go up, aren't you? Technical difficulties. If you guys remember, I have 3 characters. I have Shireen, the human thief, 3rd level. I have Imrid, the human wizard. He is 3rd level. And then I have my priest, Hemel. And if Hemel survives today, looks like he will be going up to 3rd level. And so we shall see how it goes. He also has his hound, the Mastiff. And so I went ahead and rolled up my adventure. If you want to see how I roll up my adventures, you can just go back and look at any of my other videos where I did it. But this time I'm just doing the video. I mean, went ahead and rolled it up. And so session 11, I rolled using the book. I rolled up an adventure, and it was rescue a thief murdering town folks. And I was like, how in the world am I rescuing a thief who's killing people? But as you remembered, I decided to roll on my, I don't know where I put it. Here it is. I have like 3 kind of like little plot points of things that are going on, and this is my kind of graph. I'm gonna redo this because some things have changed now that Imrib is not undead anymore. And it's really going to deal with Mora. If you remember back, that Mora is the one who's a half demon, and the part that makes her half demon, her father's Alzamot. Is that right? Alazot. He's in the Curse Scroll, and so and he is fighting against Kythros, because Kytheros, that's what it is. And if you remember in this book, it has more, creatures in it, or patrons. And so his father, Almazot, that's how I'm gonna say it, Almazot, is a wolf-headed archdemon with 6 eyes and 6 horns, and he is trying to wrest the sands of ages from his father. Kitharos is the Lord of Time, who sees all possible futures. Kitharos seeks the fulfillment of all destinies as they were meant to be. And so he's trying to take control of that, it seems, wrest the sands of ages from his father. And so his daughter, or his half demon, is Mora, who is a halfling who runs a who's at the temple of Madeira in my town. I don't know where my book is, but and so this is going to involve her, in that what's happening is that this thief has been if you remember, if you go back to some of my earlier stories where they went to the that there was a cultist activity going on at these dolmens, and so what has happened is something that happened with the cultists has forced this thief character to murder people. And I don't know if it's a possession or if it is a that they did something, like they're holding his family hostage or whatever. They want him to do these acts to rise up and to cause chaos inside the city of Ironbridge. So the Rangers have been called to rescue this thief, to find out what's going on, because maybe that's the case. I thought what I would do is roll on some prompts real quick just to see if I could get maybe why the thief is doing it. If not, I'm gonna make one roll. If it's not a good prompt that I can go on, I'm just gonna move on and say that someone knows the thief, they know that his family is in trouble, and they need to go and rescue maybe it's the thief that knows they got to go rescue the thief's family. That would make more sense. But let's see if there's some prompts on here and see what's going on. 24. Block 79. Block result. Block result. Yeah, I mean that technically, if you think about blocking the result of what the what they want to do, I'm going to say that that's the case. Is that they're holding this thief's family. The thief came to, you know that if you remember my story, Trojan is the head of my thieves guild in my town, and so in Ironbridge, and so. I don't like that being that high, but I don't know if I can get it to function properly. Sorry, guys. And he's the one that's in charge of the Thieves Guild. So maybe this thief came to him and said, "Hey, look, I don't know what else to do. They have my family, and so I'm doing this for them." And so he gets the Rangers to see where they have figured out maybe where that these cultists are holding them captive in the sewers beyond Iron below in Ironbridge. So I rolled. So I have 4 districts, and so I rolled on my district. I just rolled a D4, and it was in the Artisan district. And so what I did was I used to kind of give me. Some of these games I play, I do it for solo, but sometimes these adventures, they allow me to have them if I want to DM a group of people, right? So if I just had a friends and they were like, hey, we want to play a game, I could come up with this idea that, hey, this thief comes to you guys this guy comes to you and he needs your help to find his family. They have been taken by this, basic plot, which are just simplest plots. I don't know why people get them so complicated, but it's just a simple, beautiful, D&D adventure plot of my family's been taken. Can you go rescue them? And it's some kind of cult. it's perfect, you know. And so I rolled. So when I did the artisan table, I said, okay, what could be to kick off this adventure? And so I rolled on the artisan table. I rolled a 47. 3 halflings in a long jacket sell tonic or sewer water. And so what I'm going to do is that these 3 halflings are known by Shireen. You know, Shireen's a thief, a rogue in the, you know, she was an urchin. She's part of the Thieves Guild. She knows these 3 thieves, but she knows that they're very mischievous, you know, because selling people water that's really sewer, and that she knows they know these sewers. And so the party's going to go to these 3 halflings to get the information. So if I was DMing, not like a solo, because it's kind of hard to DM, you know, I would let the players role play against these, and I'd have these 3 halflings that were known as tricksters, but they have the information. They know the sewers, almost like fates, you know, like in the Greek mythos, or you know, you had the fates or the 3 witches or whatever who know to prophesize and tell the future, or all these type of things. Well, these 3 halflings kind of fit that bill. They're just mischievous. You don't know if you can trust them or not. And so the party goes to the halflings, and the halflings, so she's talking with them, and they know that there's 3 entrances to the sewer. So what I did is I rolled, and the sewers were a medium-sized dungeon. So I roll my rolls, and you know how when you build in a town, and you do the Shadowdark, an adventure dungeon on a Shadowdark maps, I use hex crawls. Just makes it easier to move through. And so I went ahead and drew these out. You know, like there's the sewers, of course, are like a little maze, right? And so I said, well, I'm going to at least have 3 entrances. So I have a secret entrance right here, which would come into 1. And then I have an entrance here that is protected by a group of cultists. And then I have an entrance here that has a solo monster, which is a demon. So there's 2 demons in the sewers. And so I went ahead, because there's no specific demons for this archdemon. So I decided to use the rules that Kelsey has at the beginning of monster generation. And so that's what I did. I knew their quality, they were going to be demonic, but I rolled their combat level, and they're going to look like the demon. They're going to have wolf-headed with multiple eyes and multiple horns, and they also have multiple limbs. And so I rolled, and they're a combat +4. They do 1d8 damage, and they have 3 attacks. They have an AC of 12, and they like to eat metal, and its weakness is its true name. So I don't think the party would have a way of knowing their true name. So that's not too much of a weakness, unless I can figure out a way to give it to them. But so anyway, as you know, on the sewer map, and the reason I made 3 is because I'm, Jacquet in the dungeon, where I think you ought to have multiple entrances and exits to your spot. And so it would make sense for a sewer that, you could have different locations that these things come up in. And so what I'm going to do is the party is going to go to, in each one, let me make sure I start the round with luck tokens, and they have as many as their level. So Hamill's got 2. She's got Serene's got 3, and he leveled up, and Red leveled up, so he's got 3. And I've already I rolled. Okay, he has Misty Step is his new spell. So what I'm going to do is they're going to go here, and Serene is going to try to, I'm just going to make it a DC roll to see if she can use her charisma to influence the halflings to help her tell her how to get into the sewers and what entrances. And she knows that they're tricky. And so if she can make a DC roll, and I'm gonna make it a hard, I'm not gonna make it an easy roll. I'm gonna make it hard as a DC 15. And if she can do it, if she can somehow get them, she has a DC, Charisma 15, a DC, which is +2. I'm gonna see if she can, she's also a street urchin. So I'm going to give her advantage on the roll, just because she knows these halflings. She knows how mischievous they are, so she's going to be able to look for some tales or some signs, and maybe, you know, given her knowledge, being a thief, as that she will also know what's going on. And so let's see if, just gives her some insight. That's the word I'm looking for. Sorry, it's been a long day. And then I got back to the place I'm staying, and they had a water leak. So before I recorded this. So anyway, but it's fixed, in a word. So I'm going to give her a roll to see if she can. Let me check my camera. Okay, cool. All right, sorry for that scratching noise. I'm going to go see if she can use, you know, if I was DMing this, I would let the party, I would probably still give them a roll, but I would let them talk to the halflings to see if they could, you know, maybe by their conversation, I could start moving that difficulty level up and down. So let's give it a roll. 16, 17, 18 on her first roll, she makes it. So she knows, they tell her that there is a passage that they know that's a secret passage. And so I do have a treasure in the middle. And do they know, let me get my oracle. I was just sitting there going, oh, let me get my oracle. Do the halflings know? Have they seen the cultist activity? And I'm going to say that they have more than they have a likely or certain. A 1, that's a no, and a 15. So yes, but so yes, they know that there's a cultist activity. They know they're there, but they don't. Their butt is they do not know where the hostages would be. You know, where the family. They don't know anything about hostage. They do know that there's cultist activity, and there has been. They know that there is some kind of something's down there because they're scared to go in there, and they know that there's something in there that's not natural. Okay, so they're going to. So my party's going to go in to number 1, which is the empty room. So like I've always said, an empty room should never really be an empty room. And so they have 3 passages to go out of here. And so they are going to, let's see what we can find here. Protection from evil. That's my halfling is stealthy. You can remember that. Hope, magic, merciful, take magic. Mage armor. And misty step. Let me look at something about his spells. Ooh, that spell. Ooh. Okay. So Imrib has so there's going to be some markings in here when they come into this passage. There's going to be some markings that are diabolical, and he knows. So the question would be if his is there something that he can gain from this, reading these things? Maybe, I don't know why, maybe the true name of the creature would be there, only because it's some kind of ward that keeps them in the, yeah, demons and devils all die back. I wanted to make sure that there wasn't another one. So I'm going to give him just a straight up oracle roll. would know. I mean, he knows the language, but that's not going to give him any kind of, other than his intelligence. Oh well, his intelligence wouldn't affect it. So, oh well. Well, number one, let me see if there's diabolical writings. 1. That's a no. That's an extreme no. That's a no, 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 no. It's the most extreme possible. Extreme possible. Well, the one thing I could say is that I'm going to do 1 luck token. I know it's kind of early to do it, but I don't, a 1 gives me an extreme, and that is, the only thing I think about is that there's maybe a trap here, but I didn't roll a trap. So let's give it a 19. So there's a yes, but. So there is language, there's diabolical language, so he does know. But he doesn't, because of the but, means there's no, he can't get the true names to the demons. However, he knows that these markings are some kind of ward that is keeping something in. It's a ward that does not allow stuff to come out. And so he knows that these sewers are some kind of, is keeping something in. And so they're going to decide which way to go. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to roll for them. Because as the DM, I know which way to go, but as players, they don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're going to go to into the entrance where it's number 10. So this means where that's the objective is. So that means right here in the middle will be the family and that there is a treasure. And so what I was going to do, this is what I thought about when I was thinking about treasure, is that, wow, this might be a short adventure tonight, but I don't think I'll make it that short. Is that when I was looking at, so Almazat, I wish I knew how to pronounce this stuff. Almazat is trying to do something against Kytheros. So I was going to say that when they find the family, which is 10, and where the treasure is that they're going to get some kind of boon, a patron boon, because for them to find this, I think it would be very interesting that we start to develop my story a little bit more by giving this, that the conflict that's going on in Ironbridge, because I really want to get to a point where I get them maybe out of Ironbridge and start a new town, with them being higher level. And so that would be so this would give them, so I'm going to say that when they get there and they come into the room, that that Kytheros is going to give them a boon to kind of help them on their way as a rescue. How that would happen, how would he manifest himself? Because it doesn't say. So he has restless sands of the ages. I'm going to say that has to be some kind of hourglass. So I'll say hourglass would be there. Oh, you know what would be? Little bag of sand. That's what it would be. I think that would work. And so as they come into this room, there is a they see the family that is being held captive, and so they, as they walk through the court, through the muck and mire, and they're trying to get, through the sewers. They come down and they find it opens up into a room, and they find this family, and as they're there, I'm gonna say an apparition appears and talks to them and tells them that kind of what's going on. So they're going to, or do I want it to be like a book? I didn't think about what a treasure would be, but I knew it was going to be a boon, but I didn't. Let me see. 6, dismantle, 74. Dismantle essence. Okay, that makes sense. So, dismantle essence. So that's what it's going to be. It's going to be that they show up, and he tells them the story that they come to find out from this apparition that this maybe it is a hourglass type symbol, because it doesn't describe what he looks like, appears, and they I don't like that. That sounds cheesy. So dismantle essence. So would it be a book though? It has to be something. I'm leaving the camera on why I think, because that's why I do the show, just to kind of show you why I'm trying to think what's a good way to give this boon. I mean, we do not really have a description of who this guy is. It just says he's the father of time, the Lord of Time. It's going to have multiple eyes. I mean, if his son has 6 eyes, would that be something? I'll tell you what, there'll be an altar that has multiple eyes all around it, because that makes sense. He's the Lord of Time, and his son has 6 eyes and 6 horns. So it means that he would somehow, something to do with eyes. So there'll be a pedestal, and on it will be, when they walk in, it appears, and it has all these eyes around it that are carved with it. So it'd be like a statue or a pedestal carved in some kind of homage to the god, and on it is going to be 3 bags. And so and Amrid will cost detect magic, of course. He rolls a 7 plus 3 would be a 10, so it would be easy. Easy's a 12 though, right? It should be normal. No, it should be easy for him. Oh, what am I doing? It's stupid. It's a level. It's 10 plus 1, so it would have been 11. So he would not make the roll for detect magic, even though he should pretty much know that it is. But I will give him a... God, it's funny how you forget rules. You've been reading other rules in it. So it'd be a 7 plus 3 would be 11. I'm going to use his luck token. And he's using... But that's why I give him 3. 9, 10, 11, 12. So he makes it. He makes it because he's 11, because detect magic because at level 1. So he makes, so he knows that these are some kind of magic, and he's going to focus on it. And while he's doing that, the other 2 are getting the family. So how many family members are there? Almost just a D4, 2. So it's 2 family members, wife and kid. So while Serena and them are getting them and talking to them and calming them down and telling them that they're here, they're going to rescue them. That and they start talking about, they start telling them about, let's get out of here. The cultists, they always come back to this area, and they come in when they feed and take care of us and stuff, and they have these creatures with them. We need to get out of here. And so, but what's his name is focusing on a spell to get this. So he grabs these pouches. He looks at them. He figures out. And there's got to be markings on it as well. So there's some kind of markings on it that tells him that this is diabolical written, and he's reading it, and he knows that it is Um, no, I guess there has to be a book as well because it makes sense. Pedestal with a book with 3 bags on it. So he grabs the book, grabs the pedestal, the bags, and they're going to turn to get out. So he's going to stick them in his backpack. They're leaving to get out. So what I'm going to do, because this is a dangerous, risky dungeon, I'm going to roll. So they're going to take a couple, I'm going to roll to see random monsters to make sure that because as they're getting out of here, it should not be this easy. So I'm going to check every round. Roll a 1 to see. 3. So I'm going to say they got here, they went here. It takes them around to get down the hall. Then they're in here. 6. And then they're going to do what they're doing there. 6. So as they start walking back out, it might be that this is just an easy one, a way to get in because of making these, and that's fine. I would, if I was running a party, they would probably not like it that they got in and got out, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. So they're going to, I'm gonna make one last roll as they're moving out to here. 5. And so they make it to the back out. They go out the secret passageway. They rescue the 2 kids. Man, I'm going to use this adventure for my group. So they rescue the 2 kids because of the help of the 3 halflings selling the tonic water. And that's what like I said, what I did is I rolled to see what district this is taken in. And by having it here and by her having her, yeah, it might have made it a little bit more easier because she was able to, with her advantage, but it just made sense in the story. So they get out and they're going to rescue the thief's family. And one of the things that they come to find out is that they have this book, and as Imrib is studying this book, he comes to find out that that is written by Keteros, and that in it is the summary is going to be that it is explaining to him, because it said remove the essence. And so it's telling him, maybe it's talking about the war between him and his son, and it's telling sagas and stories about it. And as Imrib is reading through it, he's starting to realize that just by reading that this war, it doesn't have a specific act. That's what's going on. It is that this book is telling him a tale of time between his father and son, and how his father Keteros is the Lord of Time, and that he wants everybody to live their life as they should, and that Asmat has been always trying to get the sands of time. And so that gives me a grander story of what's going on in here, and that these are 3 boon gifts that are given to them by Keteros. So I'm going to roll on the chart here, patron boons, and I'm going to give them to players. So let me get my 2d6 here. This is one to, whoa. Choose one option or 2 points to distribute to stats. Ooh. So Imrib is going to take he's going to gain +1 to your, because AC is always important. He's going to gain +1 to his A through, he has supernatural foresight. I love that. That's pretty cool. Natural foresight gives him +1 to AC. That's cool. All right, so let's roll for who else is here? 8. So that would be Shireen, +2 to strength, dexterity, or wisdom stat. And I don't know what the highest your stats can go. Is it 18 in the? She's gonna go ahead and take it to her dex. So that would give her 19, and I know it's anything over 18 is, but, oh, you know what? It would be better to make this a 16, and that would give her +3 to her wisdom rolls if she needed that. The one who needs this is Hamill because he's got a terrible wisdom. So let's roll for old Hamill. 5. He also gains +1 to his AC through supernatural. He also gets, you know what, I'm going to, they all get a separate boon. So if they got a duplicate, I'm going to roll 8. That's still a duplicate. I guess the only thing I could give him then would be 3 times a day. I'm just going to give him that one. 3 times a day. Well, that wouldn't be good because his wisdom bonus is a -2. So I have to take the first one. So I'm going to give him plus the supernatural insight. Gives him +1 to AC, so he goes to 14, which is excellente. Oh man, he's got 14. All right, so they got some boons, and now we know what's going on. We know that Mora is working for her father, who is trying to. But why this town? How is it key to his plans? I don't know. But other than the fact that she is, maybe it's just trying to get more influence in this town. What is it about Ironbridge that would be, so gives me something to think about. What is it about Ironbridge that makes it important to his plans? That's going to be the key. So let me get some experience points. So Hamill gets 2. Boy, he is unlucky on the old experience points. But he goes a level. I must give him 1. So he levels up. Imrib gets 7, so he's up to 12. She's got 18. You know, got this big old board 10. She's 28. All right, well, so we can level up Himmel. So he goes to be a 3rd level priest. And he's got, oh, he would get a, he gets a roll on his, he's lawful, he becomes a crusader. I definitely want to make those, Alright, 2d6. He goes up. 4. Man, boy, he really needs some wisdom stats, but it's +1 to melee or range attacks. That's okay, so he gets +1. He gets an additional +1, so he'll be +3. Okay, to a sword. And remember, it beheads at a 20, so it's like a vorpal blade. And then he gets another spell. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he gets a 2nd level spell. What is his priest? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's roll a d6. I like to roll for spells. 6, Zone of Truth. All right. There we go. That's where my guys are at. Hey, that was a short adventure tonight, but sometimes that's just the way it goes. I mean, I kind of like it that way, just for the simple reason that not all adventures have to be a slog through a dungeon. I've had I've had ones that were so tough that, I almost lost all my characters. And then I've had them. But, that's the way adventures are. I mean, I don't know if a party would be up, but if they were able to trick and get out, get it saved without having to fight, because that would have been that's just the way it works sometimes, especially in these small adventures. So they went into the sewer. They were able to rescue the Steve's family. How that plays out, I will think of it, and we'll work at it on session 12. But again, thanks for watching, and I think my next episode might be where I do Beyond the Wall again, and I want to show how to build a use Beyond the Wall to show you how to build a scenario and I don't know why I keep saying scenario, but I guess it could be either way. Scenario and Beyond the Wall. Either that or it'll be session 12. So again, hey, thanks. Y'all have a good night.